All right, final time here on the Sean Lewis Show. As San Diego State gets ready for Colorado State, Aztecs and Rams opening up Mountain West Conference play. You look at this Colorado State team and their record overall. I'm sure they wish they had a better record than they do right now. You look at their defense, they've played very well. They're blitzing as much as any team in the country. I think 65% of snaps they're blitzing.
Oh, yeah.
What type of pressure does this put on you and your offense heading into tomorrow night?
I mean, quite very real pressure, right? I mean, we were kind of talking in meetings earlier in the week where they're going to step off the bus and look around the stadium and go, hey, this is a nice place. You know what we should do? We should blitz tonight.
Right.
Like they're going to blitz, right? Like normal downs, they blitz at over 50%, right? Like they get into the low red zone area and their pressure rate is over 90%, right? So like they love to bring it. And so we got to do a great job with our mic IDs. We got to know where it's coming from and everyone's got to be tied to that, right? Like so much onus gets put on the O-line for the protection, but it's like everyone has a piece in that, from the wide receivers making sight adjustments, from the running backs being tied together to the point so that they're doing their piece, the quarterback getting the ball out on time and on target. So it's been quite a challenge. I mean, again, like not only do they pressure a lot, they bring a lot of variety of pressures. They bring a lot of different varieties of fronts. It's a very positionless defense. They play a lot of guys in the back end that are just kind of these hybrid outside linebacker. Is he a DN? Is he kind of a safety? Like, what was his high school background? Well, he was a strong safety that they made a linebacker, but man, he's enjoying training tables, so he could play rush. But in this sub package, he's like lined up as a zero nose. And then against some 12 personnel teams, he's walked as the Sam. So it's like they're multiple. And again, we got to do a great job identifying it. We got to do a great job being tied together, and we got to work urgently to get the ball out of our hands and execute when it comes to the throw game against all this pressure we're going to see.
We'll get back to Colorado State in a second, but just from an offensive purview, looking at what defenses are doing to counteract some of the faster pace, higher tempo, spread offenses, are you seeing that more and more? Is the change in the athlete they're using at all levels of defense? Because you just mentioned you'll have hybrids who you're not even sure if they're going to be in line or in the secondary to start a
you know, the first time I noticed it was probably back in 2016, 2017. There was a couple really good players in the ACC, right, that, you know, coordinators were starting to use in a multitude of ways. We're on first down, they're playing at level 3, right at the safety depth. Yeah. Second down, they're down like at the nickel Sam or boundary reduction to the will. And then on third down, they're part of a sub package, you know, at level 1. And it's this longer, leaner, rangier athlete that, again, was like a, you know, high school wide receiver safety, but had a good long frame that thickened up. So now they can, you know, roll down and play the box. They have movement skills to play coverage. They have a tenacity to pressure and a willingness to strike, right? And then you get them against one of your bigs and their ability to bend and reduce, like, it becomes a problem, you know? And so, yeah, as offensive football has evolved, again, this is the chess match and the way the pieces move on the board, right? Like, recruiting cycles have changed, and that, you know, hey, what are you recruiting Johnny as? Well, recruit him as an athlete. And as he grows and he develops and as he matures, like, we think he could play X, Y, or Z within our defensive structure because, you know, hey, when we play one team that's heavier 12, right? Like, well, we need him to play more in the box, right? Versus, well, hey, if it's more 11, he's going to be more up in the post with his ability to run in his range, right? So, yeah, there's definitely been that evolution. And then the ability to cross-train guys, right? Like, it used to be back in the day to where, like, hey, I was the boundary corner, or I was the boundary safety, or I was the boundary rush. Well, with tempo and guys going quick, like, you don't have the ability, if you're the boundary corner, to be flip-flopping every single play as the ball's going. So you better know how to do both and master that craft at a high level. So there's definitely been this evolution to make defense great again, right? And I think we're seeing that with the scores and the output in the past few years here within college football in particular.
So Colorado State starts the year with a veteran quarterback, Braden Fowler-Nicolosi.
Yep.
And then in that UTSA game, they have Jackson Brousseau come off the bench. He leads them back.
Yep.
Last week, it's Brousseau that starts. What have you seen from Brousseau, and do you prepare? I mean, I assume you have to prepare for both. They're both on film, but what have you seen from Brousseau here the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have a plan for both, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, again, they're finding their identity. There's been a bunch of things that you can tell on tape where some key contributors, not just at the quarterback position, that have been up, that have been down for, you know, various reasons and everything, right? And so all of that, as we all know, kind of gets lumped on the quarterback, right? And so they felt like they needed to make a change, and obviously that sparked something in that A game where they just came up a 2-point conversion short, right? And so, I think they kind of wanted to build off of that momentum as they went into last week against Washington State. And, again, from all indications and things that we've heard this week from Coach Norvell's press conferences, it seems like, they're still going to lean that way. But again, now this kind of goes into the danger of this team. You got one guy that's played a bunch of football that went into the year as a starter. You got another guy that's flashed and has shown promise, and you got to prepare for both in a short week. They both have a dangerous skill set that you better have a plan that solves both the issues that they throw at you.
Oh, no question about it. Yeah, I mean, I think it was last year you turn on that Colorado film, Nicolosi, especially in the second half. I mean, that's a talented quarterback, and he can make things happen for you in a close game. But to your point, you got to prepare for both because this kid's on film and he's playing well. When you are going back to the comment you made about recruiting athletes and fitting people into systems and how defense has amended things, when you have a particularly good athlete that maybe doesn't have a position you want to throw them at, maybe it's a smaller tight end or a running back who has more skill. I mean, J-Boog is kind of that guy. You know what I mean? Is it more difficult or is it more alluring to find a spot for a guy like that?
It's probably more difficult for the staff because the staff always wants to know, all right, where's that number coming from in the count? Whose scholarship is that, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I get the prerogative to say, well, it's my number. We'll figure it out. That's a head coach's scholarship. We're going to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And, but it's always kind of a unique recruitment because you got to be honest with the kid, right? And I think as we evaluate the talent that we have in our backyard, man, there's so many talented kids that, let's figure out what they can do. What role can they specialize in and be a game changer for us? And just be open and honest with the kid, right? Young men, they develop at a slower rate than their female counterparts, right? So especially guys that we put a premium on multi-sport athletes, right? And guys that are playing football, they're playing basketball, they're running track, they're wrestling, they're doing rugby, they might be playing lacrosse, a little long stick, right? Those guys are awesome on the football field, right? So it's okay, when you slow down and then your body starts to develop because now we're just training in a specific way for this role and we see where that becomes, that really excites me, and again, just having that open and honest conversation, with the kids and as you get to know them, and Jordan's a great example, right? I remember sitting in this office the first time I met Jordan, and he was one of the last kids that I met with it was the second day on the job, right? And kind of got the down low from Coach Sum and Coach Lindley, who obviously are around him and were actively involved in his recruitment, and now he had kind of done both for the program and everything, and it's you sit and you have a conversation with him. You're yeah, he can be great at whatever it is that he decides and that he's confident in that he wants to do. So we had this great conversation, and I'm hey, probably lastly and most important, what makes your heart sing? And he's what are you talking about? And I'm well, you've done both here, right? You've done both your whole life, but what gets you excited? What makes your heart sing? What gets your competitive fire going? When you get to go play receiver or when you get to go play DB? He's Coach, when I get that ball, right? Playing wide, I'm okay, well, let's start there, And obviously he's flourished in that. And man, there's still so much growth potential for him as we continue to go. But those excite me, that enjoys me, that I enjoy that. And then again, if you can have that honest conversation with a recruit early on and they're open to that, truly open to it, not just giving you the, yes, sir. Yeah. I'll do whatever for the team. But you have a really meaningful conversation and numerous meaningful conversations, right? And you can tell that they're about it. It's okay, this guy is truly a team first, then me guy. And man, if you're talented, you're multi-positional, and you're going to put the team ahead of your own individual wants and desires, again, give me all those guys. Give me all those guys. We'll win a lot of football games with those cats.
Sean, before we wrap up, getting ready for tomorrow night against Colorado State, what do you see as the key areas for your team to find a way to win your conference opener?
Yeah, we got to do a great job tackling, and we got to do a great job playing the deep ball. This team's going to push the ball vertically regardless of who the quarterback is more than any other team that we've seen. We hit on the pressure, right? We got to do a great job handling their pressure. And then they're pretty complex in the kicking game. They do a really good job stressing you, testing your rules, and throwing a bunch of different looks at you. So they're going to have some unique things in the kicking game as well that we need need to handle the pre-snap, ID some key pieces, and do a good job managing that before, the ball is even put into play on those downs. So got to do a good job, and going to need our fans to show up and show out and be there with us tomorrow evening. So come on out. We'll have a great atmosphere because of you guys and what you guys have done. And I know our guys are ready to go play, and they're going to play their tails off.
Friday night, you can get home from work, pick up the family and the kids. Maybe you're not working on Saturday. Get there Friday night at 7:30. Tomorrow night for the Aztecs and the Rams. Again, Hispanic Heritage Night, an Aztec hat giveaway. Tickets at goaztecs.com. Sean, we always appreciate it, and we will see you this weekend at Snapdragon.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Go Aztecs.
All right, for Sean Lewis, for Rich Orenberger, again, our pregame coverage will begin at 5:30 p.m. Kickoff just after 7:30 p.m. My name's John Schaefer. This has been the Sean Lewis Show on San Diego Sports 760.